Hello YouTube, it's been a while. In my last video, I think I was stood here and I discussed how that wall there, which is no longer a wall, was being removed. So this room, which is now the garage, used to be our home cinema. Previously, many years ago, it would have been a garage in the house. And I knew that because there was a huge RSJ over there, and this was just has some rubbishy black timber windows, which we all had bricked up. So obviously, as a guy that likes to get my priorities right and have a garage as big as the house, decided to make it back into a garage. So been some tidy progress. Doorway used to be there where the lids are. You see, it's obviously still a massive building site. Kitchen's in, pretty cool. IKEA kitchen, recommend them. As long as your walls are perfectly flat, they work. My wall was not perfectly flat because I built it a few years ago and I rushed it. And it was kind of very tricky to get square, especially with that wall there, which runs out massively. But anyway, today, I'm here to discuss these bad boys, the Oxford Anchor Force ground anchors. So security is massive for me. You know, whilst I'm in a pretty secure garage and got a pretty secure house, private driveway, gates, etc., not in a horrendous area, you just can't be too careful. So I have been installing ground anchors for all of my bikes. There's one there. See that one he's hoovering up. So yeah, they're really cool, really easy to fit. You may have spotted a couple of bikes in here which you've not seen before. I think you've seen Jen's Trident, which we did the chain cleaning video. You've seen the F4. You've seen the R1. What you haven't seen is this bad boy. So I bought this, I think, October last year. Kind of rash purchase. Wanted one since I was, as far back as I remember. I think I had one of these on my bedroom wall in these colours. I bought it from a guy in Birmingham. He drove it down the next day. Agreed to buy it over the phone. Paid all right money for it. It's very low mileage, 6,000 miles, but it had kind of Chinese track fairings on. So I made it my mission to restore it. So I managed to, in my crazy addictiveness, managed to get 2 full sets of fairings minus the tanks. So it's all been painted, fresh, re-stickered, and it's mint. 6,000 miles on it, and I love it. How long I'll keep it, I don't know. I didn't really buy it as an investment, but it is. Frankly, you can't find these, not for less than 10 grand. So I will do a video on that. You've seen this weapon, still going strong. Did the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride Out on this a month or so back. I did film the whole thing, I just haven't had time to get it edited, as you can see. And this is nothing. We've got a 7.5 metre extension going out the back of the house at the moment. So, and whilst launching a new business, I am against the wall for time. So I do need to do a cleaning video on this because when Crescent serviced it, they said the inside of the fairings were pretty grotty. So I will, when I get time, take the opportunity to do a nice video on that. Tom Stretch of Dorset.motorcycles, friend's YouTube channel, he did a full ride out on this. So if you haven't seen that, go and check it out. That's Dorset.motorcycles on YouTube. This is the latest bad investment, I think. So this is the new 2025 ZX6R. I ran this in at Brands Hatch. Whoops. So yeah, it's got Bournemouth Kawasaki's version of the performance pack on it. So it's got a different Aquapropic exhaust. So it doesn't have the stupid massive extra baffles and bits and bobs. I love it. It's really cool. I was looking out for, say, an old R6, like an 06 onwards, or a K6, K7 Gixxer. And the offers on these are just too good to be true. It's, I think, 4% finance on a PCP. I think I put 2 grand in it. It's like 125 a month. Yeah, you know, that's a nice dinner these days. So yeah, really enjoy that. I will get a video out of that because I don't think there's many on YouTube, especially not in the UK. But I wanted something that I can ride on the road and enjoy. And if you do push it a little bit, you're not being silly with your speeds. You know, it gives it, you know, it gives you back whatever you give it, so you can actually enjoy it, flick it around without really breaking the speed limit, which is important to me because I've got a lot of points. And yeah, I've got the F4 for the silly stuff when I go abroad. But I will be taking this to Portimao in November. So heading out there with Tom and Alfie, so that will get some coverage. So very much looking forward to that. Anyway, back to business. Oxford Anchor Force. I'm going to show you how I install them. I've done 1, 2, 3 of them so far, and they're really good. They're really easy. You do need to know what you're doing a little bit. You do need to understand kind of how concrete floors are formed, which I've now got a lot of experience in. And you need the right tools. So I will get the R1 out of the way, grab some tools out, and I'll show you how I do it. See you in a minute. Right, we'll do a quick unboxing, show you what's in the box. Obviously the ground anchor, that comes with 2 plates. Now, I believe the logic behind this is if you're going to try and cut that with a disc cutter, in order to get to the bottom one, you've got to cut the top one, which makes it a lot harder. And then secondly, if you've cut that there and that's still bolted, to try and run a disc cutter blade through that cut into there, it's going to wear the blade out. I can't guarantee that because I haven't tried this because I actually want to use this one. But yeah, there's method behind their madness, and ultimately I think that is the logic. So you've got to cut through 2 plates in order to get into it. So pretty straightforward. Comes with these wall bolts. Very similar, just a bit like a raw plug. Big expansion bolts. So you drill your hole, drop those in, drill it to the right depth. Tighten that up, that expands and basically grips it into the concrete. Also comes with, oh, these are slightly different. So comes with 4 ball bearings. The way this works, once they're in, put the ball bearings in the end and bash them in the hole. And what that'll do is stop someone coming along with an Allen key and undoing it. So the other 3, I actually got this one off Marketplace because Infinity was shut when I wanted to go and pick it up. And there was one around the corner. So I got it for 30 quid. They're 50 quid now. They were 70 odd quid. Yeah, can't recommend it enough. They're really good. So once you've whacked your ball bearings into the head of the Allen bolt, basically you beat those into there, and that will stop anyone getting them out. This has been opened. The guy said it hadn't. All right. So aside from that, in the instructions we need a 16mm drill bit. That's what I have here. I'm using an SDS. And in here, now, this is one key difference between the newer ones and the older ones. So in the other ones, it came with a basically a little metal rod. I think I've still got the box. It comes with a little metal rod which allows you to basically gauge how deep your hole is. So you can see on here what I've done is I've actually put a piece of tape. So that's the depth. I presume that corresponds with that. No, so I need to remeasure this. So these are probably shorter. So the metal pin, the idea is you just drop it in the hole and just check your depth is there. So I'm going to just double check these instructions because I probably need to reset the tape line on here to make sure I'm not drilling too deep. Doesn't massively matter. So most concrete floors will be kind of yay thick. Below that there'll be a damp-proof membrane, and then below that probably type 1 aggregates. If you do go through and you hear the drill go light, all I did last time was peeled a bit of cardboard, dropped it in the hole. All it is just to make that sit at the right height. So you want the top of this flush with the top of your concrete. If they're dropping in the hole, just put some crap in the bottom, just a bit of cardboard, anything, doesn't matter. It's not going to serve a purpose other than just hold that in position while you do that bolt up, and it expands into the concrete. It's not going below the concrete, it's expanding into the concrete. So again, if you do drill too deeply, literally all I did, ripped a bit of the box off like that and dropped a tiny bit like that in the hole until that sat at the right height. I'm just going to go and see if I've got the other kit so I can show you what I meant. Un moment. No, it's been teleported to another land. So, back to this. What is it saying? 50, is that 50 or 60? 64 mil. So, I thought I'd grab this out to make it a bit easier. So 64 mil, yeah, so I need to bring this tape in considerably. To be honest, I'll go and grab a new one. I will cut this video so you haven't got to watch. Okie doke, so we are looking for 64 mil, it's going to be something like that. Again, don't panic if you get this wrong. Often you're having to drill a bit deeper. You probably want to have a hoover to hand to drill the hole out. So what I'm going to do next is line this up where I want it. You don't want to go too close to the edge of the slab because there's a good chance it will crack. In here, the original slab, this is a screed on top, so we've got like a 60 mil screed here, which then goes into a concrete sub base where I've leveled the two rooms out. So in this scenario, I don't want to go too close to the edge because it could crack the screed, which obviously just weakens this whole thing. It's highly unlikely someone to get it out, even if the screed is cracked. But you know, let's do it properly. Most garages in the UK, and I guess the US, because pouring concrete is a pretty standard thing, you know, you're going to have distance between where your walls are and your garage, but just don't go too close. I'll move the camera, I'll line this up, and I'll show you how I do it. So on the other side, I've got more of a return on this wall, so I've actually run the ground anchor that way because I've got space. Whereas this side, because I still want to be able to get the car in between all the bikes, I'm going to run it this way. Now I know for a fact there's nothing under here. The one by where the RS250 is, there's heating pipes, we've got heating in the garage. I know where they are, I checked with the photos that I took, so I knew I couldn't run it right behind the back wheel, so we've done it on the front wheel. So with this one, I'm going to run it in this fashion, keeping it not too close to the door. Obviously, this door finishes here, so it's not a major problem, but I want to give myself a bit of space. Again, not too close to the edge. Got about that much room, which is, what we got? 6-7 centimeters. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to square this off the wall. Say it's not essential, but I like to be tidy. And then I'm going to take the top plate off, pencil or a Sharpie if it's going to be sacrificial because it's going to get a dusty tip. And then we'll take this out and we'll drill the holes. All I'm looking for here is to try and get an even measure. So 43 that side. Doesn't have to be absolutely precise. When you drill your holes, this will move because there will be leeway in the holes. So from here, obviously I don't want to move it, but I'm just going to go in and draw a nice circle. Obviously make sure the tip is all the way in. so to speak. There we have that. Now your goal here is to be as vertical as you possibly can be and make sure you are centered on that hole. I started putting one of these in at the end of the garage in front of a radiator, and because the basically the radiator was, I was trying to be sneaky and get it under the radiator, I ended up drilling at an angle, and these will not go at an angle. Look at the size of them. So it's important to make sure you you get this as vertical as you can. So I'm happy that is on the center of the hole. I'm going to stick hammer and drill on. I'm just going to plunge this down to, I'll probably swing it just past here, and then I'll drill all these out. I'll grab the hoover the dust out, and then we'll see how the bolts fit. Again, don't go too mad. If your garage is screeded, it's a little bit kind of more brittler and softer than standard concrete. So don't want to go nuts with it. I'm happy to use the hammer drill on this because I've done the other ones and it was absolutely fine. The instructions say do run a test hole. So if you've got a corner of the garage, you know, below some cupboards or something you're not going to see, it's suggested. Don't just go hell for leather with your hammer SDS, because there's a good chance you'll just split your concrete or it'll blow out and you'll end up with a massive hole. So I'm good to go, and it'll probably blow out now and break, but let's have a go. So you can see I've just plunged the tape in slightly, which should give us a better seat on the bolts. Right, let's go for the next one. So I've had to switch my iPhone because the DJI camera has decided to overheat. It's only been filming for 10 minutes, useless. It's not exactly a hot day. I don't know if it's because I'm running HDR and I've got the mic in or what, but whatever. So I think it managed to capture that. I'm going to vac the holes out and we'll have a go at seeing where these sit. Get the old sucker. So it sounds obvious, but the goal here is to actually clear out the holes. So I don't know if you can hear it or not, but if you vacuum over the top of the pipe, it's not going to suck anything. So you need to displace that dust with air, basically. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's actually pulling the dust out the hole. That's our goal. If you get the crap from around the edge, right, let's see how this fares. That one, so we're not looking for the bolt to sit flush. We're looking for the expansion nut to sit flush. So take that out of there. That's pretty good. Little tap with a persuader and that will go in. That probably needs clearing out a little bit because these are a bit finicky. If that spring comes off, you're gonna have a little game putting that back together. Let's check this one out. Again, that's pretty tight. I'm gonna clear those out with the drill a bit more, and that one. Right, so real simple. That's all we're looking for. Hoover that off again. Knocked over the crap camera. Oh well. Not doing a lot, is it? So, next one. Still needs a bit of a clear out. That one will go in. And take that bolt out. The goal with these is for them to just sit flush on the top and get everything in. Again, so I'm just pushing that in. That's looking pretty good. Let's get the last one out. Here's my teeth. Again, you want these to go in. They need a little bit of persuasion. You don't want it too tight. That is gripping already. So I'll take that one out. I'm going to give it a little bit of a zhuzh again. Doesn't need loads. Again, hoover it off. Let's see how that one fares. Good. Going in. It's not falling all the way through. Requires a bit of a push. Happy with that. That one is still tight. Right, I'm going to put the camera down. I'll come back to that one. Right, going to switch back to the DJI now. I need a hammer. Let me just grab a persuader. Old Stanners. So you can see from these, they're pretty much flush to the surface of the concrete. Now my goal here is to do the same with this bad boy. I'm going to take the bolt out. That's good. So you see it is sinking a little bit far, but it's holding, so it's not a problem. Again, if you drop them all the way in, they're a bit of a pain because obviously if you're screwing this in, you're expanding the bottom of it. Set along those pliers usually does the job. Not too bad. Right, so next goal, we're going to line this back up, carefully not to push them too deep, just in case the holes are deep. And hopefully this will all line up. We've got to decide which way we want the logo. I'm happy there. I'm just going to gently drop these in and line them up. If you've been precise, which I think I have, they should go in like that. Cool, next job. Let's move the camera around a bit. So the pack comes with an Allen key. You can use it. You'll be there all day. Got a nice CK one. So you've got to make sure you push these in and you're going to wait for it to bite and then you'll feel it. So what I'm doing here, I'm just nipping them. I'm not going mad because I want all the holes to continue to line up and I don't want to end up pinching one out of place. So it's biting there. Same on this one. If it's creaking, it's working. So I'm good to go now, so I'm going to start going for it. Don't have to go mad. You know, these, I don't know if you ever put a screw and a rule plug in a wall. You try pulling a screw out, well, out of you know, a decent fitting screw into brick in a raw plug, it takes a hell of a lot of effort to get it out, and it'll be the same with these. So they just need to be nipped up. I don't think there's any torque specs in the instructions, but yeah, just do them tight. You haven't got to go nuts. That's got it. Cool. So next step is bashing in the ball bearings. Now actually, there is something missing, because these ball bearings, the other thing that marking pin was used for was bashing the ball bearings in. So I wonder if this packet has been opened. Say it was second hand, the guy said he never opened it, but there's clearly the pin missing, but I'll find something. So I'll turn off, I'll go find something to bash the ball bearings in with, and I will return. Okay, that's what we're missing. Managed to find it in the bin. Yeah, if you buy one of these new from somewhere like Infinity, Sports Bike Shop, so I'm not affiliated with any of these guys, not sponsored, Oxford haven't sent me this. They're just the shops I use. So Infinity I like, they got a high street store near us. So what we're doing, getting the ball bearings, we're dropping them in the holes. I'll move the camera in a second and show you what this looks like. Like a game of pinball. Can you see that? So the way this works, we bash that in the hole, and then the only way to get that out is to drill it. And I don't know if you ever tried drilling a ball bearing, it ain't happening. So next step, take the old Scholler hammer, hover that on the ball bearing, drive it into the hole. They will bounce around, they will probably come out, but just keep an eye on them. That one's in. That one's in, that one's escaped. Cool, so we have ball bearings in the holes. They're in, they're not moving. Next job, try and get you a better view of this. Next job is put these caps in the holes. Again, it's just another layer of security to stop anyone getting a tool in there. So the other ones of these had like a serrated sort of star finish on the edge, which I assume will make them go in easier. Now I guess this is an older, there's any date on this box or anything, but I'm guessing this is an older version of this ground anchor. Looks identical, but just these small variations. So hopefully these aren't too difficult to go in. And they are. There we go, that's not too bad. As you hit them straight. So don't be an absolute tard. Get them square and hit them square. That looks square, it's not. Another one in. Another one in. And finally the last one. Job's a good one. So I bought these ones because they can let you get a couple of decent chains through. Not the mega chains. If you're going to stick one of these outside, I'd get the best chain you possibly can. What I've got's all right, but I'm also running additional locks, high security garage doors, alarms, CCTV, electric gates. It's over the top, I know it is, but I like my stuff and I don't want it nicked. And I quite like stuff like this because it also looks cool. So yeah, there we have it. I've had a couple of Warrior paddock stands delivered. So next thing I'm going to do is grab those out, assemble them, put the R1 back in position, get a chain through this, put it on the paddock stands and stand back and admire. So give me 10 minutes and I'll finish the video and show you what it looks like. And there we have it. Paddock stands in. I don't think they are Warriors. I think I might have clicked on one that was £4 cheaper. No instructions, no stickers, don't care. I've got one of those which was branded Motrax, identical. Another one there, no brand on, identical, came off Amazon. So yeah, whatever, they're cool, they work. I've never used one of these particular types before. It's always a bit bumhole clenching, putting a front paddock stand on. Seems to work, it's pretty cool, I'm happy. So next time you see me, I'm hoping I'll have finished painting the ceiling, because if the keen-eyed of you will have spotted, I've got black paint all over me. I don't have the opposite of what Michael Jackson had, it is paint. So that'll be good. Basically miscoated that today, watered down, so obviously it's fresh plaster, fresh filler. So the ceilings will be black, the walls will be white, much like in there. So I've got to black this ceiling out. As you'll see, I've started cutting it in there. And hopefully get all this finished. Never realised how useful a sink would be in the garage, even just washing brushes out. It was a delight the other day to fill up the snow foam cannon from this and not in the kitchen and getting pink snow foam everywhere. I'll show you the pantry. Wife is super jealous of. So you get all the stuff in there out of the way, which is quite cool. So I'm under instructions to fit all this in our utility room once all our building work's done. Wasn't mental money really, all IKEA. So it takes a little bit of know-how. I'm by no means an expert, but pretty good at stuff. These are kind of, they're like pre-cut, pre-finished worktops. You see there's a joint in the middle and a joint at the end. Didn't realise when I bought them. Had I realised, I would have gone for one piece, but they were like 20 quid a panel. So it's quite cool, because if I do drill a hole through one, I can redo it. But yeah, pretty happy with that. I've got to fit all the soft push to close things, because at the moment obviously there's no door handles, so the goal is to have it flush. Fit that splashback, which was one of the original floor tiles from this garage, so that was a spare, and I thought actually quite nice. Little reminder to where it's come from. Yeah, so next job, painting, get the LEDs finished, get all these in the channels, soldered, painted, and then it's going to be garage floor. I'm not going porcelain again, it's too much money. It was nice, but before long it's scratched, it's marked. The grout gets muck in it. Hello dog. So next time I'm going to do the rubber mats, like the garage floor style stuff. Not the vented, I don't think I need them. I think they look a little bit tacky. So I'm just going to go for a plain, probably a grey. So yeah, I promise I will get a video of this. If not, I'll give it to Tom Stretch at Dorset.motorcycles, because he loves a bike review. And he's in his early 20s and he will have no idea what a two-stroke is like. The smell is just mind-blowing, so I might actually get him to ride it and I'll sit behind just so I can smell the thing. Purdy, what are you doing? Get your nose out. So yeah, I will get a video of this. I know you had a bit of a glimpse of me going on a ride out on it, but I will do something soon. I also need to work out how to get this exhaust warning light off. I'm on the second Heeltech servo Heeltech thingy. I've read online in a couple of places that you need to ride the bike for 20 miles. Now, I don't really ride bikes for 20 miles, so I need to plan this out and get out on this bad boy and see if it sorts it. If it doesn't, it's going to be a case of taking it to someone to plug in and map it. Don't really want to spend 200 quid to turn a light off, but whatever. I'm taking this the Isle of Man next year up to watch the TT. So yeah, I want it right. Apart from that, love it. It's mint. So there we have it. I will see you next time, and hopefully my security efforts work. Hopefully my bikes don't get nicked, and hopefully yours don't either. And if this has been helpful, do all the usual: like, subscribe, thumbs uppy, comment, all that nonsense. Not looking to make millions of pounds out of YouTube, just quite enjoy doing it, quite enjoy sharing stuff, and I think people like my taste in what I have. So yeah, I will remove that, and I'll see you next time.